Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, safe and clear weapon, empty magazine, slide it out to the rear, magazine's out. Good to go, because nobody outranks safety. So I'm back, John DeCourcy, 27th response, and this video is gonna be about some basic pistol fundamentals and the fundamentals that I use to make sure that I get effective and accurate rounds downrange every time that I shoot. The most important part of training, or whether your profession requires you to train and possibly use a firearm, is the mindset you're gonna have in your approach to training. If your profession requires you to train with the firearm or possibly use one, try to do so in a more practical training environment. And if it's something that you do personally as a hobby, then make sure you focus your training around what your firearm use is going to be in the real world. So the 4 fundamentals that I'm going to be going over is your draw, your grip, your sight alignment presentation, and then your trigger control. Draw being the first one you have to execute, because if you can't get the weapon out of the holster, whether it's professionally or if you're concealed carrying, then you're never in the fight anyway. Your grip, which I think is potentially one of the most important fundamentals, because if I could put a pistol or a firearm of any kind into a vice grip and lock it on target and just pull that trigger, it'll hit the same spot every single time. So that grip is very important, because it'll make follow-up shots, sight alignment, trigger control, your stance being off. If everything's not perfect, but your grip is as close to perfect as you can be, it'll help everything else. Then that sight alignment, obviously the shooter's eyes, sights, and target all being in a straight line, or as straight as line as possible, to make sure that you're in perfect alignment, getting around down range at your intended target. And then trigger control. You can absolutely pull the trigger rapidly and get a lot of rounds down range in a row. Some people call it slapping the trigger. I think it's nonsense. Slapping the trigger is aimlessly or recklessly pulling the trigger in my mind. Slapping the trigger or getting a lot of trigger pulls in a row, that's good. It gets you more rounds down range, it keeps you in the fight, and hopefully gives you a more dominating position in that gunfight. So, first things first, when I recognize the threat that requires me to use a firearm in whatever capacity that might be, my strong hand will immediately go to my pistol. Weak hand will immediately come to my chest, sternum area, stomach, somewhere in the center line of my body. That's going to allow me to, A, have my weak hand up here near my face, so if there's multiple people around the area, a tighter space, obstacles, anything that I need to navigate while moving closer to my threat, I can do so utilizing my weak hand. Also, I do draw that pistol, my weak hand's here. When I start to establish my grip and punch out, I know that I'm coming to the center line of my body and working off the center of my body. I'm not getting I'm not throwing myself off alignment or off kilter. I'm taking my entire body and using it to stand and get right behind my pistol as I shoot it. So, number 1, that draw. You're here, you recognize that threat, nice smooth draw out. We're gonna do a high purchase to a nice high flat presentation. Bring your hands right here, and getting that grip is number 2. Start to establish your grip right here. Take your non-controlling hand, take that index finger, bring it right to the base of that trigger guard, wrap your fingers around your strong hand, take that meaty part of your thumb, and cover up the rest of that grip. When you establish a good grip on that pistol, both strong hand and non-controlling hand, there should be no gaps and no holes between your hands and that pistol grip or receiver. Trigger finger along the receiver until you're on target and deciding to fire, obviously. But right here is a grip that you're looking for. So, you've drawn out, you're up center line of your body, you're establishing your grip here, you're punching straight out. Now you want that flat presentation and that sight alignment. And getting your sight alignment is important, if you can, to bring the weapon up to your eyes and never your eyes down to the weapon. Bringing your eyes down to the weapon will disturb and throw off your perception of your sight alignment. If you're running a RDS or an optic red dot sight on a pistol or a rifle, then maybe some of those can be set up to where wherever that dot is on your target, that's what's going to hit. At that point, you're just finding your dot. Iron sights here, where I think everybody should train and become as close to proficient as possible with iron sights before going to an optic. Then you have to bring the weapon up to your eyes. Get good sight alignment, get that front sight, rear sight nicely aligned and centered, and finally trigger control, and pull that trigger. So number 1, you recognize that threat, smooth draw up. Number 2, you're up to the center line of your body, you're establishing that grip and punching out. Bringing your palms together, your elbows together, everything comes straight out center of your body, bringing the weapon up to your eyes. And then you have good sight alignment, good trigger control. I'll demo that now for one shot, so you see what I'm talking about. Whatever your command to fire training environment might be, a beep or a threat, or in whatever capacity you might find yourself having to get into a fire, train with that. For here, I use a shot timer. And that's it, guys. Draw, grip, sight alignment, trigger control. Above all else, keep a good mindset, train hard, make good decisions, and let me know what you guys think. Good luck.